Hi, welcome to Romania. It's your second time here. Do you remember anything from the concert from Best Fest?
Yes, I do. I was playing together with a friend of mine, Art Milo,
Yes.
and that was pretty amazing. And I remember I was really overwhelmed by the public and the energy. I didn't expect it at all. So I hope it's going to be the same tonight.
Now, you've started music at a very early age. When was the time when you decided to take it more seriously, to turn like into a job?
Well, I think it was pretty late because I started study psychology when I was 18, really in the thought that I would become psychologist. But everything went rolling when I did like a small show, for a friend of mine, and my manager, my booker came to me, and they asked me to do something together. And for me, that was okay. So I had like in the same time exams for psychology, and in the same times already like small festivals, So for me, it was mentally a big switch to make all the time, and I really wanted to focus on one thing really badly. So I made a decision to go for music.
Now, psychology did influence you in your lyrics, in your perception, in your music?
Well, I was always and still am, very, very interested and busy with like the mind and the thinking and relationships. I believe, being happy and the search for it is the most important thing you can achieve in life, So for me, that it's something I will never stop study psychology, But I think you learn much more by getting older and traveling and meeting people and having emotional ups and downs than in the books. So I don't regret that I quit it, actually.
Now you are traveling a lot. Were you tempted by the rock and roll style of life with a lot of parties and stuff like that?
Well, I think I'm pretty responsible in a way. Of course, it's a lot of waiting. I mean, it's 90% waiting, and it's sometimes it's hard. I can imagine you have a lot of drinks and a lot of things always, to catchable, So you have to be strong in it, and you have to be responsible. And I can imagine that it's really hard if you're not like in one piece with yourself, and that spotlight on you, that it can be really hard. But I really watch out. I cannot drink too much for my vocal. I cannot smoke for my lungs and my vocal, So I have a reason not to do it.
How did the success change your life? Because you're very young.
It changed, but I feel it as a job. I think I feel now all my friends also change in their life because they have a job now.
Yes.
They're not study, so I don't feel much different with them. Just for me, it's more public, of course, and that's a bit of difference. But I love it. I'm traveling a lot. I have a goal with the album. I still have a good connection at home, so I feel it as a really good change.
Why do you feel comfortable with the reggae genre? And when did you discover or listen the first record of reggae, or discover the first artist?
Yeah, for me, it was really naturally. I live in I've been raised in a really small neighborhood with a lot of youth and a lot of children and a lot of green, and really nice, actually. And when I was younger, my big brother listened to raga, and it was like Damien and Sizzla and Capleton. And I remember the big guys were like on their guitar playing, smoking weed, in the grass, and I really look up to them. And I think that's how I got into raga.
Now, regarding your composition, how do you start? Do you start with the lyrics, with the melody? Do you get help from your bandmates?
Well, that's a good thing. I get a lot of different inputs. I think it was the same with the first record, and I wrote the second one a few months ago, and it went exactly the same. Sometimes it's only me and my guitar, so I wrote something on guitar and I put a melody and then lyrics on it. Sometimes it comes from a beat that I receive from the label. Sometimes it comes from a band jam. Now we wrote with the band like 4 songs together. So it's really interesting. I get a lot of inputs, so that keeps me on fire.
How would you describe the relationship with the producer?
Oh, that's something that's so important, very, very important. That's something I still need to figure out, because now I have an idea of who I want to work with, and first we need to test if it's emotionally fitting, because if it's not going to be that, then it's not going to happen, So that's the most important thing ever when you make an album.
Now, you said you just finished your second album.
Mhm.
Are you preparing a new single?
Well, no, I finished the demos, so it's not finished yet. You know, still have to record and produce and lay out and everything. So not ready yet.
Are you trying other genres on the album?
Of course, I mean it's I need to show a lot more also for myself, you know.
Yes.
You have to keep it interesting. And I think I'm able to do a lot of different things, you know. I just singing is boring. It's cool if you can also rap and have like accents like I did with raga, you know.
Yes.
But I listened a lot to electro and jazz last month, so it's going to be a bit more influenced by that probably.
Can you tell us some collaboration if you have?
Well, yeah, that's the plan, but it's always something I do when the song is finished. So, you know, but I already have a big list.
Can you say some names?
No, I can't.
I
Sorry.
understand.
Sorry.
Now, when you are traveling, what are you dreaming about when you're on the bus or on the airplane?
Actually, I'm reading a lot the last months, you know, because it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting, and that sometimes I get really bored. Sometimes we just like with the band like pickle each other, you know, just to do something, you know. It's but I'm thinking always a lot, you know, about the coming shows, about my life, what am I doing here, always the deep things, you know.
How do you prepare your show? Are you thinking of, I don't know, like kind of strategy or choreography or something like that? Or is it just natural?
It's all natural. It's all really natural. But what we do before we go on stage is get together and say this is going to be the best show we ever played and pumping each other up. But on stage it's always big energy. I give everything what I can.
What was the most important show that you've been to so far?
Yeah, I really feel all shows, it's a cliche, but I don't feel any show more important than another show, you know. For me, it's all about if there's souls who you can win, you know, that's that's very important. And but you know, of course, sometimes like Rock in Rio, I knew the value that it's really important. And you know, a lot of promoters are there and everything, you know, that kind of importance. But for me, I'm not busy with that actually.
I understand. Now, you've traveled a lot. Do you have a favorite place, or was there a country which really amazed you by their culture?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can find always something anywhere, you know, as long as you're into it. But for me, we don't have a lot of time to, when you're touring, it's like one day there and then you take the plane to another place. So I don't have really much time to check it out decently.
Now, can you tell me some guilty pleasures in music?
In music?
Yes.
Well, I just said it, you know, before that I was a bit like, it's too poppy commercial, but actually I'm listening a lot to Destiny's Child the last months, and it's really good actually. Wow, what an energy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.